today for more content. You can also visit us at our website www.amazetvsl.live. Also catch up with us on all our social media platforms.
Me I know want for lose you, me boo boo, Billy Gole.
Hey guys, this is incredible JJ. This who knows that J. I'm live on AMAZE TV channel 32, tuning for the best of entertainment and news. Watch out.
Bad bush no day for no bad boyfriend. Bad bush no day for.
My name is Dr. Aisata Mahmoud, and I'm the Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs in Sierra Leone. I love watching AMAZE TV on channel 32. Keep it for your education, entertainment, and all TV programs. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, everybody. Me and James Elvena, I work for the Voluntary Service Commission. We are served as District Deputy Director. Thank God, I got a very long I watch AMAZE TV, channel 32. For me, I like to watch AMAZE television, channel 32, and thanks to all the crew to AMAZE TV, channel 32. Thank you.
Hello guys, it's your boy Leonas, the genius, the Pekin and president, Mr. Buy for me sweet fame. You know I always watch AMAZE TV, so keep it locked. Mama, papa, uncle, auntie, everybody. If you want to see me, my videos them, just watch AMAZE TV, channel 32. Yeet.
Yeah, I shot so, but I don't go dance on that bed. Aha. Yeah, it's your favorite girl, baby nice, you know. That people can mind song on TikTok and Facebook. You just feel am. So mama, papa, brothers and sister, if no one watch me, just tune AMAZE TV channel 32. Okay? My name is Angel Jesse, the superhero. I watch AMAZE TV channel 32. If you want to see me, go na AMAZE TV channel 32.
Hello everyone, I'm Alvin Sal. Don't forget I watch AMAZE TV on channel 32, and you still can watch AMAZE TV on channel 32. Click on. That's a good one. So you know.
Watching AMAZE Television.
Hello and welcome to AMAZE TV on channel 32. Viewers, don't forget to follow us in all our social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram on AMAZE TV SL. This is the program Inside the Newspaper with me, Ramid Kamara. Don't forget that Inside the Newspaper is a program that comes to you every Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sit right back. We'll be back.
That's a good one. So you know.
Inside the newspaper today, we are going to look at the front pages of our national newspapers. And to help us have a critical analysis on these top stories, I have in the studio Edmondson Sonicole, who is the CEO for Journalists Against Injustice for Good Governance. And I also have in the studio Daniel Pewa, who is a civil society activist. Welcome to AMAZE TV, gentlemen.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Good morning to all our viewers.
In this program today, we're going to look at several national newspapers, in which we're going to take a critical look at the Go newspapers, in which its top story says, NRA turns criminal cartel. CSO raises concern over blatant disregard for judicial proceedings. And also, with oil prices on the brink, unprecedented hardship looms for Sierra Leoneans. And our final story of this newspaper says, Dr. Sama Banya inspires Miss Sierra Leone contestant. And we're going to take a critical look again on City Hunters newspaper, in which it says, 67th ECOWAS Summit. Bio is the new chairman of the Conference of Heads of State and Government. Youth Assembly raises alarm over judicial integrity. And finally, we're going to look at the Lunge Bridge or political stage. JFK critique government over project confusion. And in the Sierra Leone Compass newspaper, we're going to look at fake credentials, residency fraud. Aminata Bangura may be disqualified. And we're also going to look at President Bio elected ECOWAS chairman. And finally, in the Awareness Times newspaper, we're going to look at as global collaboration with West Africa strengthening, European Union meets ECOWAS chairman, Mada Bio. And finally, we're going to take a critical analysis on the story of police intercept suspected drug dealer with 5.5 kg of kush. In this regard, I will start with you, Edmondson. Multi-billion loan syndicate uncovered. NRA turns criminal cartel. What is your position in this regard?
Well, actually, sorry, I have a bit of cold. NRA actually supposed to collect money on behalf of government for the smooth running of the country, actually. But, and if they are branding them as corrupt, they are supposed to collect money for the smooth running of the country, then something has to be done about it. And the issue here, you have a lot of NRA staffs in different offices that deals with money, right?
Yes.
You have NRA staff at Ministry of Lands, you have NRA staff at Water Key, you name it, all everywhere. So if their staffs are there, they are collecting money and they cannot do their balancing to collate with the office where they sent their staff, and what they are collecting for the day, it's difficult because just recently I understood that they clamped down on some NRA staffs that are giving fake receipts in some offices, right? Journalists Against Injustice is investigating those stories because some of the people are at CID at the moment. So we are diving to see what and what they've been arrested for, what and what they did. But in a nutshell, I think the NRA bosses, they need to put their house in order to check what and what. There should be a system running with any of the offices that they are operating. Whatever they does there, it should reflect at the main office, so that they will know whatever they collect for the day and what at the end of the day when they try to reconcile, right? You should know that Mr. Cole was at SRRSA, for instance, and this was 40 billion we collected today. It should reflect in my own record, reflect with the account department of that office.
Edmondson,
and also
talking about reflection, NRA is a national institution that is charged with the responsibility to collect taxes. This is our money. It is the citizens' money. And definitely it needs to be taken into very serious consideration. Looking at the term Ton's criminal cartel, that is a very strong term. It is very, very sensational. And definitely it is potential to say that top officials, the bosses that you're talking about, might be involved in such criminal allegation.
I do agree. It's a syndicate, actually. Because if, for instance, I'm using myself, Mr. Cole is working at NRA. I was sent somewhere, right? The cabal, there are different cabals, people said. The cabals must be Mr. Cole and few other people in the offices, right? And before now, they've been arrested. Some people are sent to Pademba Road who were NRA staffs. They were working for them. I remember at a point in time at Wataki, they arrested people and sent them to Pademba Road. So I do agree it's a syndicate. They have a cabal in different fractions. They are doing things. So as you rightly mentioned, the bosses, they need to have an external body that need to checkmate NRA to see if what they are doing the right thing, they are collecting the money and they are not misusing the money. They do collect money, but at times the money goes to personal account. So these are some of the things they are doing. So I do agree with the author who said that NRA, the term criminal cartel, right? So it's true, and this is the problem we are facing now, because government needs money. And at the same time, I think our last program I talked about it. We are blaming the boy in blue. They said they are corrupt, but corruption is everywhere, not just boy in blue. Corruption is everywhere, every offices. Corruption is within that environment. And if the junior guys saw the whosoever is in control are taking money that's supposed to use or to go to consolidated funds, they are converting it to their own use. The people who are down there will find ways and means to get something for themselves and maybe take something from the office to go and sell it to get money.
Definitely, this is the responsibility of every Sierra Leonean to report whatsoever corruption in any place of work. Let's look at the aspect of public trust. Daniel, it has severely eroded the aspect of public trust, and we look in the current situation of the country, the economy is not doing well at all. Not. What do you have to say in that regard?
It is sad, it is unfortunate, and this is not the first time we have seen or heard NRA being in collusion with other institutions, more so financial institutions, the banks. You know, if we want to control, drug, we want to control corruption, we want to control financial malfeasance, we want to control trafficking, we want to control money laundering, the banks should be at the center stage. you have spoken of public trust being eroded in some state institutions and more so the financial institution. It is unfortunate to say that individuals in these or those institutions who are charged with the responsibility of managing the state purse, collecting the money, and at the same time lodging those monies into various commercial banks, including the central bank, and now the very ones colluding with those state financial institutions in making sure that they defraud the state of the much needed taxpayers' money that is supposed to be used for the payment of either our external debt, maintenance of our external debts, payments of salaries, maintaining our foreign embassies, and a host of others, providing basic amenities, social infrastructure, and the likes, hospitals, medication for lactating mothers, children, and pregnant women. These are all things that we need to sit and reflect on as a national, and have a national conversation around it. Because, like my brother was saying, many a time we blame the police. We blame the police who just collect pittance from drivers or other, motorists. Unfortunately, we are ignoring those who, with a strike of pen, by just signing, they amass millions of dollars. It is in fact, it is we have been very disingenuous with the police, owing to the fact that these are the guys in the rain, in the sun, at night, at every other point in time. They are there actively controlling or making sure that they curb crimes and other criminal activities. Those are the people we vilify, and we admire those who siphon monies from state coffers, driving SUVs, building mansions, traveling to overseas, building extravagant lives. Those are the people we admire, and we vilify the state, security. But what I am saying today, we have to be comfortable to say the uncomfortable. If His Excellency is committed in making sure that Sierra Leone becomes one of the most admirable states in the world, where people will endeavor or will be happy to visit, for them to see, just like people, the entire world is now admiring the Rwanda and other African countries. I think we need to ensure that laws are enacted in making sure that, because now we have expunged the death penalty.
This is an issue.
We have expunged the death penalty.
Accountability. This is an issue of public accountability. And when we talk about public accountability, no matter how small corruption is, it is very important and it is very essential to tackle in that regard.
Yes.
Sierra Leone is a developing country, and we definitely depends on donors. We definitely depends on monies coming outside. And in that regard, our responsibility is to make sure that our own manner of
the meager resources we raise,
exactly,
has properly managed,
has to be very much transparent to the public.
Yes,
what does this have to do? How will this affect our international recognition in that regard?
Firstly, I think the criterion is set by the World Bank. It is the World Bank that gives targets. Not so? I might be wrong. That gives targets to NRA. That for the financial year 2025, you should be able to raise at least 3 trillion leos, as the case may be. However, does the World Bank has the a mechanism in making sure that they checkmate? You were talking about external, checkers for those institutions. Is the World Bank actually providing that check and balances and making sure that all monies raised from NRA is deposited to the designated accounts? If yes, then what is their own stance in this? Because just one institution, institution that is charged with that has the mandate to raise money for on behalf of government, is now indulging itself in such a financial malfeasance, then it raises the question of what about the other institutions that also raises money. Let's say, for example, SRSA, because it's also generating money. And we were talking about one, how do you call it? There is one thing, particular approach that the president came with, wherein
a centralized
system of, lodging those monies. And now we are hearing of commercial banks colluding with few individuals and institutions to defraud the states. Like I was saying, we should be able to enact laws that does not only punish the people but also name and shame public officials who indulge themselves, because it has become a kind of normalcy, it has become a kind of habitual to state institutions and individuals manning or heading those institutions that, quote and unquote, no more, then we'll raise them and forget about them. So how are we able to ensure that deterrent measures are put in place so that going forward checks and balances will be ensured, and at the same time transparency will be enhanced in those institutions?
And this is very, very important. Moving forward, as a civil society activist, CSO raises concern over blatant disregard for judicial proceeding. What is your position?
Could you kindly give me, do you have an excerpt of it? If not, then
the aspect of judicial proceeding, definitely.
Who is disregarding judicial proceeding? Is it the
CSO?
Is it the
civil society organizations?
Is it because Chadi raises question about the judiciary? You and I knows very well that there are cases in those courts that have taken over 15-20 years, and those people who went to those court to seek justice dies without being given justice. Is that the reason why somebody is writing that the CSO or civil society activists are showing blatant disrespect for the judiciary? Come on. We have to be, like I was saying, we have to be comfortable to say the uncomfortable. The judiciary is charged with the responsibility of not only interpreting the law but also punishing lawbreakers.
Definitely.
And if it has that mandate from the Constitution, it should actually be seen as a kind of mirror. If the judiciary is indulging itself in something that is inimical to progress, remember the TRC, what led to the 11-year civil war? Some people call it senseless war.
Yeah.
For me, it is not a senseless war. It was a fight for justice. Only that, along the line, they lost that focus. But again, after the war, the TRC was set up, and people came and testified as to what led to the war. One of the TRC's findings and recommendations were, one, that it was because of people who were meted with injustice. People went to the court to seek redress. They were denied. The perversion of justice did take place. And because of that, people had nowhere else to seek justice or redress or recourse. They went into the bush. They took arms. It was like a vengeance. Somebody said, because Mr. Sonny Cole has hurt me, and I have gone to this man to report him for me to get justice, because of Mr. Sonny Cole's connection, either politically or economic affluence or education and whatnot, he uses that to suppress my rights through you. So at the end of the day, when I see opportunity wherein I can go and revenge or avenge that injustice that was meted at me, that was what led to the war. And therefore the TRC said, imagine, we are talking about donor partners, we are talking about international institutions, the Commonwealth, the European Union, and every other state institution poured money in making sure that the judiciary is not only rebranded but also positioned in such a manner that whosoever, even if it is Daniel Esper who is just coming from his cocoa farm, who has no connection, who has no money, but because somebody else hurts him and is going to the court to seek justice, that justice must be given to him.
Daniel, let me
so
right
denial of that justice being given to me, if I raise this question because of freedom of expression and somebody is telling me that the CSOs are having a blatant, disregard for the judiciary, then that person is
Daniel, let me hold you right back. It is very clear that justice delay is justice denied. Definitely. Sonny Cole, looking at this particular subject matter, what do you have to say about it?
Actually, I do agree with my brother. Injustice is injustice. That's why we, from Journalists Against Injustice, are looking at matters. As my brother rightly said, that there are cases that has been so long in the courts and nothing is happening. When you go to court every day in, day out, they keep adjourning that case. So people get frustrated. As he rightly said, people will die. That matter will still in court, and people are using money. Some people are using, as he mentioned, Mr. Cole here, I'm using money, my connection, to do an injustice myself, and people within the court premises are doing injustice to somebody else. That was one of the things, as he rightly mentioned. I covered the war. This is some of the things that showed up when we went to Yamoussoukro to talk about the reason why people were so hot that they went out when small thing happens, they jump on board to go and find justice for themselves. And the thing is vividly clear now. It's happening right now. They are going to demolish people's houses. They spent money, built houses, they do things. Somebody will go and destroy that place and nothing. The court is not doing much about it. So for somebody to write that CSOs, we need to, as Mr. Pewa mentioned, we need to be comfortable enough to point at something that is wrong. Indeed. To say this is wrong. It doesn't matter if it was done by Mr. Cole or Mr. Pewa or somebody else. You know, at times, some of the things till now, as he mentioned, he was saying something and mentioned about the death penalty. Not that we are frowning at President Bio's decision to remove the death penalty, because President Bio made the pronouncement and it went through the parliament, they accepted it. But still, injustice is happening, they are killing people. And whosoever takes somebody's life, yes, they should hang that person. It's by law. The West is doing it. Oh, yes. So what's wrong with us? So injustice is an injustice. This is some of the reasons why Journalists Against Injustice, we came together to see that how best we can make noise down that path to remind people of what we've been through. We went through an 11-year civil war, and now we are doing the worst that prompted the war. So it's an injustice and we need to address it.
We definitely need to address it. As it says, justice delay is justice denying, and justice is sweet when it is swift. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back.
This year's a reason to be concerned over blatant.
That's a good one. So you know.
Welcome back, viewers. This is the program Inside the Newspaper that comes to you on AMAZE TV, channel 32. So Nicole, let's take another critical look on the aspect of the Lunge Bridge. Lunge Bridge or political stage. JFK critique government over project confusion. Now in this regard, we've seen the government of Sierra Leone gone to China and signed a memorandum of understanding on the construction of the Lunge Bridge. And of recent, we've also seen the same government going to the United States and sign a memorandum of understanding on the same construction of this Lunge Bridge. Is it a political tool? Well, because of the 2028 election coming?
Well, I will not say so, actually, because I keep telling people in other programs, I do know that the Lunge Bridge was not part of President Bio manifesto. He didn't mention that. It was due to the infrastructure advisor that was at State House, Dr. Tambi. In the process, the first year, they, I think, convinced President Bio that they can do the bridge. So when the team came, I was at State House when they were exhibiting how they want it to be. And the Chinese were there. I didn't know what went wrong. It didn't happen, right? And if now it's coming up again, it would be good. If now, as you rightly know, they are trying, something is, I think they have to take the new city in Parliament, right? Yeah. Which Lunge will be another city. Maybe because of that, it could be. That's why they wanted the bridge to get it done. If it's happened, well and good. But, like I said earlier, it was not part of President Bio manifesto. He has 5 big game changers, as they were calling it. Lunge Bridge was not part of it. But if along the way, they decided to get Lunge, fix the bridge at Lunge, it will be good for every Sierra Leonean. The reason why I keep saying that, at one point in time, I went over to drop a friend. It was going to London. The ferry went faulty. So we had to, the guy get over to London. I was still across Tagreen, waiting because there was no ferry to ferry us through, right? So if the bridge was there, people can just use their vehicle and fly, get across to the other side. So if they are coming up with the Lunge Bridge, government has the mandate, we have given them the mandate to do A, B, and C. If they are in control, they believe that this will be good for the people of this country, well and good, we accepted it. So I don't think it's a political tool, but it depends from the political lens. JFK is coming. I don't know what he was thinking to say that, because they are all politicians. Politicians see things differently. We are looking at things from a different point of view, actually.
Well, in the aspect of the Lunge Bridge, Daniel, definitely the Lunge Bridge is not in the big 5 of the president in the second term. But when we take a clear look back, before the election, we saw President Julius Maada Bio promising Sierra Leoneans for the construction of the Lunge Bridge. It was a promise, and definitely he has to deliver this particular aspect. And JFK has come out to say there is a confusion, there is a misdirection on the construction of the Lunge Bridge, because we saw when they went to China for the negotiation of this Lunge Bridge, and now they've gone to the United States. What do you have to say about that?
First thing first, critics have the right to be critical, and then we look at the cost-benefit analysis. Like my elder brother was saying, according to the local government ministry, very soon Lunge will become a city. But more importantly, the infrastructure that is in Lunge, and we look at the estuary that separates Lunge from Freetown, and then we look at the means of transportation, like he was, alluding to. The only transportation is a ferry. Thankfully, the private sector has stepped in. I think we now have Seabird and Sea Coach. But if you don't have the money to go to the private sector, you are compelled except otherwise, if you decide to drive from Freetown to Port Loko and then to Lunge, which will cost you, it is riskier also. But when you look at the means, the basic means of transportation crossing the estuary from Freetown to Lunge, it is only by ferry. And if you happen to miss that ferry, I have seen people crossing to the normal canoe powered by, turbo engines, which is also risky. You look at the infrastructure and you look at the chain of flights that does come to Lunge International Airport. You look at the movement of people, either for economic reason, for job reason, or for other, social activities. You ask yourself a question: are we really ready to connect Port Loko via Lunge to another bridge, or should we stay as a status quo as it is? For me, I think the former should be the answer. Firstly, the infrastructure in Lunge needs to connect Lunge to Freetown to a bridge. Your question was, why is it that JFK is asking? Perhaps, like my brother did say, it's for political, these are politicians. And in our own context, unlike the Western world, the opposition will oppose government or the sitting government based on the needs and interest of the people. Here, it is the opposite. We don't critique except otherwise, but more often, we don't critique the government based on the interest of the people, but based on what will benefit us as politicians, as individuals, is what will bring us to power. We have seen Republicans criticizing Donald Trump as we speak. We also saw where Democrats did critique Joe Biden. Not so?
Yeah.
Here, it is the opposite. I haven't seen that, except otherwise. But again, the importance of the bridge cannot be overemphasized. Exactly. And the reason why, for me, that is my own perception or opinion. I think the reason why they broke the MOU with China, let's say because of the costs. If the Americans are coming in and we see that the job they are going to provide, because when I read the MOU, well, I did not read the entire MOU, but the excerpt I saw, the American ambassador did say that the company Accro, is it Accro? ACROW, something like that. Accro, okay. He did say that company has built bridges more than 150 countries in the world, and a substantial, I think 40 bridges or above that in Africa. So for me, it is based on their track record, based on the amount involved, and it is also built, operate, and transfer, just like the toll gate, just like the Lunge International Airport, just like what we are coming to see. And also, you look at I did not see the time frame, how long they are going to operate it,
which is also very, very important.
Which is very, very important. Yeah. It should not be under the carpet. It should not remain under the carpet or kept surreptitiously. What is more important here, how important that bridge will be, how it will affect my mother who is at Mafuka in Port Loko district, how it will affect my elder brother here, Sonny Cole, who wants to accompany his family back to England, riding via that bridge, comfortably seeing the scenery. That is what is important, than being in a ferry at a time when the tide is high or when there is stormy weather. People are apprehensive on board the ferry, and we don't have the mechanism as a form of rescue to respond promptly or real time in rescuing lives. We are saying, quote and unquote, we everyone say the ferry they drift. Not so that the ferry was drifting off its course. So these are all, security concerns, safety concerns that needs to be addressed through the bridge. That my brother that wants to come from Lunge with his pepper or banana or whatever where he is coming to sell in Freetown should be able to move faster, and the cost of transportation should not be killing. Now if you want to move here with jeep to Lunge, it will not cost you less than 210 leons just to move with a jeep to Lunge and back. 420 leons.
Daniel,
these are all things we need to address.
The aspect of the construction of the Lunge Bridge definitely should not be overemphasized, because it is very, very important in creating a new city for Sierra Leone, not only Freetown. When we look at the Salon Compass newspaper, its headline says, fake credentials, residency fraud. Aminata Bangura may be disqualified from the SLAFA race. Sonny Cole, this is very much important, because we've seen recently how football has united Sierra Leoneans in that regard. So we need to look at it very critically, especially when it comes to integrity again in presenting credentials, you know, that are not of existence in that regard. What do you have to say?
Actually, anything that is fake is unacceptable, and above all, we are talking about people who will be like an ambassador, role model to represent our country out there. So if you are you have a fake document, then it needs to be properly checked. I think on the last program we talked about people that they enroll to police, military, or to the civil service, wherein there are people who are qualified, they have all what it takes, the credential to have job. They will not give it to them, they give it to somebody else who politically connected, or if they are connected to Mr. Cole can just make a phone call and that job will be given, not doing a background check to know whether that person is qualified or not. So if, for me, if the credential she presented it's not up to date, it's not credential, right, authentic, then I think something has to be done about it. Remember, at a point in time, you have this college that so many people went to, and they were talking about them, Dominion, things like that. Yeah. So, and there are people who were in high offices that went through that university. I'm not saying they are not competent or get what it takes to run some of those offices, but if it's fake, fake is fake. Yeah. You cannot do well when you get to the other side if it cannot match with other standard. You know, let's remember, Sierra Leone was called the Athens of West Africa because every good things, our university was one of the best in Africa. So other people were coming from other places to come and do schooling here. And they went back to their country, they excelled themselves. So if now we are giving fake paper, when exams come, people are spelling things like that, it's not good. It will dent our image.
Definitely, it will dent our image as a nation. Daniel, the aspect of presenting fake qualifications, let this serve as a roundup. What do you have to say?
Firstly, academic fraud is a serious crime. It means cheating, it means deception, and it means misleading. From the civil society angle, we vehemently, condemn and decry falsehood. However, in my opinion, I would not see this, or I would not want to see this as a kind of a form of intimidation to scare or to impede or to frustrate or thwart the efforts of a bold and audacious lady who thinks that what men can do, women can do as well. Let us don't see this as a kind of ploy to frustrate the efforts and the ambition of a lady who wants to project herself for that enviable position and making sure that she plays her own part. Because for me, a lot of men have failed us as far as football is concerned. Past, present have failed us. So a woman was there, and today she is at the pinnacle because she is now at the I mean, working for the biggest or the highest body of football in the world.
Yeah.
So what is wrong? Except otherwise, the writer is factual, and we need to investigate. I think authority, because you spoke of integrity.
Definitely.
You spoke of ethics. These are the things that whosoever is coming to present himself or herself in a position of national interest, these are the things that she should portray, or he should portray: integrity, ethics, and above all, sincerity. Because if you're not sincere with your credentials or your qualifications or whatever document you put forward to represent you, then when you are in the Bible, sorry for my, I'm so sorry, I'm being apologetic to my Muslim brothers and sisters, but in the Bible, Jesus did say that if a man cannot be trusted with little things, there is no way he could be trusted with the bigger things. Okay. Quote and unquote, if in the finger plazas or soup, now room, anytime you go out, you see big tea in the tiffin. So again, if people are projecting themselves for a position of national interest that will represent the country, and at the end of the day it happens to be a fraud, then there is no way that person could be able to conduct him or herself in a transparent and honest, sincere manner when he or she acquires that
Definitely, position. As time is not in our favor, it is very clear that integrity is the master principle of administration. Viewers, don't forget, this is Inside the Newspaper, coming to you live at AMAZE TV channel 32. This is a program that comes to you every Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is how we're going to end the program for today. Have a nice day.
That's a good one. So you know.
Introducing the AMAZE TV app. Entertainment everywhere, anytime. Key features include unlimited live streaming, live TV, high quality streams, and on-demand content. It has a user-friendly interface, personalized recommendation, can be accessed anywhere, and more. Download the AMAZE TV app from Google Play Store or App Store. Why wait? Download the AMAZE TV app today for more content. You can also visit us at our website www.amazetv.sl.live. Also catch up with us on all our social media platforms.